It's always a tricky one, and it's definitely a question I get asked a lot because people aren't quite sure what to do with the club face through the hitting area. Hey golfers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at another subscriber question. This one comes from Graham, who is a YouTube member of mine. Thank you so much, Graham, and thank you everybody that commented in my video a week ago about me wanting to help each and every one of the subscribers out and anybody watching. So this one came, Graham is struggling with knowing what type of release to do. He messes around with what's called forearm release or roll, which is this motion through the ball, or whether to use his body. And for that, we're going to need to have a face that's much more stable through impact. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to talk about a position I want you to check to make sure that you know where you should be based on the release that you're choosing. I'm going to discuss some of the drawbacks and benefits of each of these two releases. Okay, this is always a tricky one, and it's definitely a question I get asked a lot because people aren't quite sure what to do with the club face through the hitting area. Okay guys, so before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. Okay, I'm pulling up an image on screen here of essentially two types of release. You can see that the line is referencing the swing arc. Okay, and you can see the club face's relationship to that. All right, so let's look at the one with the face coming down open and closing relative to the arc quite sort of rapidly through here. This is going to be more your forearm release, the hands, that type of feeling or flip release. And then you've got the other one where the club face remains very square to the arc throughout. All right, now each of them have their benefits. I have one that I favor when I'm teaching, depending on the golfer. Now, let me show you some of the benefits. Firstly, with the face that is square to the arc throughout the bottom portion of the golf swing. Okay, the face is moving through a very low rate of closure. So you can see here from this angle that I'm coming down. The face is more turned down, it's square to the arc. It's coming through and it's not really moving a whole lot, okay? What would the benefit be from that? Accuracy, a little more accuracy and potentially less speed, okay? What does this release entail? So in order to have that, you need to have this downswing position where the face is matching your spine, or a little bit of a stronger club face. And then from there, we can carry this through a little bit more with our body turn, okay? And the hands and arms can remain fairly quiet, okay? They'll be moving a little bit. So we're here, face is down a little more. Watch what takes this through my body. Look how open I am with my hips, pretty square with my shoulders, and through very little rotation on that club face. Obviously, there still will always be some, okay? So what's the benefit then? A little more accuracy and ability to use your body, okay? The other release then is going to come down with a club face much more, say, toe up, or even in some cases open. Now, if I wanted to get that square, well, I have to start to incorporate some forearm, supination and pronation of my forearms to try and get that thing to square up, and I can do. And after here, it starts to close, so here and through. But you can see the difference in this release. So down, open, and then through. You can see that stick doesn't know where to be, right? It's all over the shop. So here, if I am then a bit more down, carry it through with my body, it's definitely a lot more stable, okay? Now, me as a golfer, personally prefer the one that allows me to get a bit more sort of down here and use the body, because I find me, it's a little bit, I'm not saying I'm a high-speed player, used to be, but not now with two kids, a little bit lower on speed. So I like to try and keep the accuracy by getting that club face to be very passive through here, and allows me to sort of use my body a bit better, okay? Easier to time, in my opinion. I just, from experience, figured that out. So the other one, if I'm down here, I can still generate quite a lot of speed, okay? And to prove that, if I hit a shot as normal here, okay, we can see the club head speed. I'll pull it up on screen. If I make a swing and I take the body completely out of it, put my feet together, and only generate speed through the hands and arms kind of whipping. Those aren't air shots, by the way. They were practice swings. Okay, so hands and arms firing, shutting the body down pretty much. You'll see that I can generate a similar amount of speed. So imagine if I started to get in here, start to use the ground a little better, I could generate more speed. And I know that, but the inconsistency in direction that it gives me, I don't like it. I like to keep the face a little bit more closed down here, okay? So basically, the thing is, one word of warning as well I must give, because this is something I see, and I've done videos about this in the past. Golfers say, we're working on something. They're like, do I need to turn more? Like on the way through? And if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know where I'm going with this. Do I need to turn more? Okay. If your face is open here, and we want to turn like sort of the pros in here, look what happens to that face. I have no chance now. That's going to go so far to the right. Okay, so what happens is you can't rotate. Have to start to slow this down for the club to square up. All right. So if you are looking at your golf swing and you're a little bit more toe up in this position, you are going to have to favor a little bit more of the forearm roll release from our image. That's the one that's opening and closing a little bit on the arc. Okay. If you see that you are somebody who comes down and the face is a little bit more to the ground in this position, you can be more of a body release guy. Do not mix them up. So basically the point being,
if you're anything like me and you like to wear a good quality leather glove when you're playing golf, but don't fancy the high price tag, well, go and check out my channel sponsors page, gxgolfgloves.com. Really good quality glove at a fraction of the cost. Use code David at checkout and you'll save yourself a nice little bit of cash as well.
Don't mix up the face being open in this position and trying to use your body. The ball will go to the right. Don't also mix the club face being pretty good in this position and then trying to use the forearm release, because the ball will go to the left. Okay, guys, this is a little bit of a complicated one, and I wanted to try and simplify this as much as possible. I have done a video in the past as well, so hopefully between this one and that one, you can start to make sense of this. It is a very tricky one. We see a few different types of releases on tour and from great golfers and not so good golfers, but I guess play around and see what works best for you, because I can't stand here and tell you that, oh, you have to close that face. I prefer that for me and golfers that I teach. This has to be closed and use your body. That's the one I like. I'm not for 1 second suggesting, oh, if you don't do that, you'll never play good golf, right? And I'm not also suggesting that you can't play good golf with the face a little bit more toe up and have some more of that forearm roll. Rory does it with his driver and a little bit with his irons. Good enough for him. So I guess just play around with this. See what gives you the best results. Test it out. Do maybe 20 shots with one, 20 shots with the other. See what works best. But bearing in mind that if you are hitting this spot with the face down, using more body, that's going to be your straightest, little less powerful. And if you're more toe up, using forearm, hands, and arms to square it up, that's going to be a little bit less accurate, but have a tiny bit more club head speed. All right, guys, depends on what your objective is in this game. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.